Top 10 Trading Scandals in History. We live in a time where we assume scandals are a thing of the past and not one that can occur even now. If individuals can come up with solutions to increase security, some other individuals can also look for loopholes in the system to raise a new scandal. With that being said, let us look into the top 10 trading scandals to have ever happened. Number 10. The HealthSouth Scandal. The CEO and founder of HealthSouth, Richard Scrushy, was the major felon behind the scandal that comes in at number 10. The earnings that the company was making were falsified. During the late 1990s, Richard instructed the company's employees to inflate the revenues and falsify the digits of the net income. All was good till 2002 for the healthcare provider. In 2002, $75 million worth of shares was sold by Richard right before coming out with losses. This was just one sign. Then came the storm in 2003 when the SEC got involved and defamed the company for duping everyone with their false revenues of $2.7 billion. The repercussions were horrible as the stock dropped by a massive 97% to a value of 11 cents, all in a matter of 24 hours. The CEO was then taken into custody for committing 36 counts of illegal activities, but was later charged against being guilty of bribery. In fact, it later came out that Richard had also paid $500,000 to obtain a seat on HealthSouth Regulatory Board. Number 9. Tyco International. The scandal at number 9 was exposed to the world in 2002. Tyco International is a security company that made the year an unforgettable one for investors. Tyco International was considered to be quite a safe investment, probably because they were involved in security themselves. But the then CEO did not seem to have the same level of morals that the company probably stood for. Dennis Kozlowski, the CEO back then, was known to siphon money from Tyco International, which was aided by unapproved loans and fraudulent stock sales. CLO Mark Belnick and CFO Mark Schwartz were involved too, with all three of them receiving $170 million with low to 0% interest loans. After selling 7.5 million shares, the funds were illegally taken out from the company in the form of bonuses and other benefits. Kozlowski used these funds to live his dream life, but was eventually caught for the fraud activities and was sentenced to prison for a quarter of a century. Number 8. Bernard Madoff Scandal. Bernard Madoff was a financier, investment advisor, as well as a market maker. He was once the chairman of NASDAQ and is now serving jail time for the major financial fraud he was caught for committing. The man was being charged guilty for committing almost 11 known felonies and is said to have made a total of $65 billion by duping people. The money laundering activities that this man was involved in included him not confessing his hedge fund losses and paying off his early investors with the money that was coming in. The rest is something he would profit from. Later on, when things did not seem to play out in his favor, the man confessed the truth to his two sons, who turned him to the authorities. Bernard was said to have an 11% gain every 15 years, which was due to the fund strategy he had been undertaking. Proprietary option collars that are used to minimize the volatility backfired due to this scheme, blowing up the entire facade and sending Bernard to prison for 150 years. Number 7. Centennial Technologies Scandal. Centennial Technologies was quite a successful company a few decades back. In 1996, the company struck a jackpot and secured $2 million by selling their PC memory cards. Unfortunately, the truth came out much later that it wasn't memory cards that were being shipped, but fruit baskets. The employees of Centennial Technologies were forced to create fake documents to cover up the company's tracks. This again resulted in the company's stocks rising by 451% on the New York Stock Exchange, according to the SEC. This was recorded between 1994 and 1996. The earnings from this time period totaled up to $40 million. The company, on the other hand, was reporting profits of $12 million when they had lost $28 million. This thus caused the stock to nosedive to mere $3. It was calculated that almost 20,000 investors faced losses from this company that was quite a favorite at Wall Street. Number 6. Theranos Scandal. Theranos is a company known for its fame in Silicon Valley for its work in the field of health technology. The company that was once worth $9 billion has fallen at such a fast rate to such a low value, all due to two major individuals, Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani. The two were involved in an illegal scheme involving wire fraud and overlooking discrepancies in technology. The fail-fast approach that is used in the software industry was being tried here, which was quite a risk considering the dynamic nature of the health industry. The members of the board included military personnel and diplomats instead of medical personnel, which was another reason why the discrepancies weren't caught earlier. Number 5. Briex Mineral Scam. Briex is a mining company that is said to have caused the biggest scandals of all time. This Canadian company claimed to have hit a potluck and found a large reserve of gold on land in Indonesia. The truth came out much later that this wasn't the case. The apparent 200 million ounces of gold that was to be mined led investors to invest in the company like crazy, resulting in the stock price reaching a high of $280. The company made millions overnight and faced a market capitalization of $4.4 billion. The truth about the mines came out in 1997 about the mines being a fraud. The gold that was shown to the people was the shavings of the gold ring of one of the individuals who was involved in the scheme too. The Quebec Public Sector Pension Fund, the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan Board, and the Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement Board lost $70 million, $100 million, and $45 million each respectively. The services of the company were closed down in 1997 after they pulled off the biggest mining scandal of all time. Number 4. Worldcom. The Worldcom scandal was brought to light in 2002, right about the time Enron was facing the repercussions of their scandal. The Worldcom scandal was another addition to the billion-dollar accounting scams the world had already faced. Worldcom was acing their game in the telecommunication industry with so many businesses and individuals utilizing their services. But due to their gutsy nature of taking the wrong path, the equities market was shattered by Worldcom. So, to simplify the events of the long story, the company was creating fake paperwork with incorrect entries. The operating expenses were being recorded as investments for several years, which later blew them up into bankruptcy. You would be shocked to know that almost $3.8 billion were recorded as investments when in actuality they were operating expenses. Due to them playing with this little trick down their sleeve, they attained illegal success when in 2001 they claimed to have profits of $1.3 billion. A beautiful saying goes like, the faster they rise, the harder they fall. And that is exactly what happened with them. Unemployment hit the employees of the company in thousands. This was not all. The betrayed investors had to face the brunt of investing in such a company where the stock price dropped from $60 to a value in the negatives. Number 3. One Malaysia Development Berhad Scandal. This scam took the world by shock with claims of them being involved in money embezzlement across more than 10 countries. The loans they took up added to $1.2 billion that was derived from foreign investors. A large number of shell companies were created where it has been recorded that almost $4.5 billion were given to many corrupt officials. A lot of employees at the high posts at Goldman Sachs have been targeted and are being either jailed or fired for their involvement. The main mastermind behind this scandal is Najib Razak, but he refuses that he is guilty of these claims. Number 2. Enron Bankruptcy. The company that was involved in the scandal at number 2 was a firm that was looked up to as a role model due to the strides towards success that they constantly chose to display. The energy company, which was based in Houston, was the 7th largest company in the USA at one point in time. Fraud accounting practices using illegal setup of shell companies after being in losses enabled the company to hide its debts. The losses were in the millions, and by creating fictitious earning digits, this fooled the accountants and analysts for a while. But not long after this did the truth come out, with the share price dropping down from $90 to under 30 cents. Arthur Andersen was dealing with their accounts at that point in time, and even they were taken down along with Enron. It was later revealed that David Duncan, Enron's chief editor, was the man behind the disposing of thousands of documents. Number 1. The Ponzi Scheme. At number 1, we have the Ponzi Scheme, which is the father of all Ponzi's, considering this is where the term Ponzi actually originated from. Charles Ponzi was a massive blow-off, as the man had promised investors 50% profits with a span of 45 days and 100% profits within a span of 90 days. The entire scheme revolved around the U.S. Postal Service. This, as well known, did not happen, but managed to clear off this investment by paying off early investors with the money of the new investors. Charles played it smart and tricked so many people into this by not providing them with any proof of paperwork, as well as never shared his strategies with the investors. By the time the truth came out and the man was caught, 5 banks were obliterated, with the investors losing the money they invested. At the end of it all, Ponzi thought he was smart enough to make a quick escape by growing out a mustache as well as shaving off his head to turn unrecognizable while he planned to board a merchant vessel to Italy. With that, we come to the finale of this video. Hope you enjoyed the video and can't wait to bring more of such content to you guys really soon. Do us a solid and punch the like and subscribe button to show your appreciation to our channel. Bye guys.